Let me know if you can hear me. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Steve Wilson's Back to Action Chiropractic. So we're doing a take two on this live thing. I wanted to make sure I had a microphone and everybody can hear me. So this is kind of a work in progress, trying to make sure that we're doing everything that best suits you and helps to get everybody really living their optimal lifestyle, living with the best functionality. So this is a new series that we're going to start, and I'm going to try to do a live video, or at least a video every week, to answer questions that you have. So anybody that's following my Facebook stream or Twitter, whether you're a patient or not, whether you've seen a chiropractor or not, I want to be answering questions, being a resource for everybody in the area, and actually nationally, worldwide, whatever it is. If you have questions, let me try to answer some of those. So one of the things that I continue to get on a regular basis from my patients is they ask me why I became a chiropractor in the first place. And I thought this is kind of a great topic. I get this when the universe gives me questions over and over and over again. It means it's kind of important. It's a genuine question. So that's where we're gonna start today. Is why am I doing what I do? And so I'm gonna give you a little background. So I'm practicing in West Allis, Wisconsin, and I've been here for about 2 years. Actually, almost to the exact day I opened 2 years ago, and so that's exciting. Gonna celebrate 2-year anniversary. So I actually grew up about 10 minutes west of here in New Berlin, Wisconsin. My dad practiced dentistry about 3 blocks away from me until actually about the same month that I opened my practice. So I come from a background where there weren't chiropractors. My dad is a dentist, my uncle is an oral surgeon, my mom was a med tech, so I have that background in the medical field, and I actually wanted to become a medical doctor when I was in high school. And I started that path in college that I was going to go to medical school, I was going to become a medical doctor, maybe a radiologist, and that was the idea. And I got into Madison and something changed. And it's kind of hard to explain because it just didn't feel right. And when you got that gut feeling where it's just, you're on this path and it just doesn't seem to be all adding up. You don't have that crystal clear picture anymore. You have a lot of questions and doubts. And that's kind of where I started going, is thinking, is this really what I want to be doing with the rest of my life? Is this really where I want to be? And I decided to kind of hold off. Medical school is very, very competitive. I had a lot of friends who were going into that and pharmaceuticals or pharmacy school to become pharmacists, and I just didn't want to put in an extra 4 years of my life if that wasn't it. If that wasn't feeling genuine, if it wasn't perfect. So I took some time after Madison, after graduating with a zoology and a history degree, and I decided to look into some other fields. And so I actually worked at PetSmart. Yes, taking care of animals. Helping me open a store right by Southridge Mall for about 2 years almost. So that still didn't feel right. It wasn't where I wanted to be. So I left and I went into sales with Dale Carnegie. And if you've ever been to a Dale Carnegie class or read How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's life skills. It's how to relate to people, how to be genuine, to show enthusiasm, really to be a good salesperson, a really good business person. And it helped me a lot with the confidence levels. But at the same time, I was living a really unhealthy lifestyle, and it was eating fast food, it was drinking soda just to make it through the day, and sometimes 2, 3, 4 sodas in a day. Yeah, I know, that was me. I was gaining some weight, I wasn't sleeping well, so I was having digestive issues, I was having sleeping problems, I had mood swings, I just lacked energy all the time. And when I look back at that time in my life, it was actually a struggle. I was 22, 23 years old, thinking I knew everything, that I was invincible, that nothing could touch me, and it just wasn't adding up. That a 23-year-old was having these kinds of issues. So even when I was that young, my dad would tell me that what I'm eating and what I'm doing lifestyle-wise were going to affect me. And I should have known, because when I was growing up, he was all about supplements. He was all about eating right and tried to show us how to do that. And we couldn't have the sugar cereal. You know, we didn't have Frosted Flakes. We had to have Cheerios, or you had to eat, you know, some vegetables with dinner. And when I got out on my own in college and in my first jobs, I wanted to eat junk food because I didn't think it was going to affect me. I always grew up as a scrawny kid, and so once it started really affecting my lifestyle, my energy levels, my sleeping, my digestive system, I was confused and I was frustrated. So I started going to a medical doctor because that's what I knew. And I said, I have these stomach issues. I have this problem sleeping. And so he said, okay, here's a pill for that stomach issue. Here's another pill to help you sleep. So I took them, and I tried them out for a couple weeks to see if it made a difference, to see if it corrected my digestive issues and if it helped me sleep better. And it really didn't work, unfortunately. Actually, kind of fortunately, because it led me down this path. But I would go back a couple weeks later, and I kind of had the same issues. And they said, well, it's just the wrong pills. So I'm going to change the pill. It's going to do the same thing, but sometimes it just works better for people. And so gave me a new set of pills and set me on my way. And I did this 3 or 4 times. And at a point where I was months into this and nothing was changing, I just had this realization that it probably had something more to do with what I was doing to myself than it just being me, a victim of circumstances. So I went into my medical doctor, and I just point blank asked him, and I said, could stress have anything to do with this? I knew deep down that I was stressing myself out. I was eating fast food all the time. I was drinking sodas. I wasn't drinking a lot of water. I was drinking alcohol. I was 23 years old. And I also was really stressed at work because let's face it, I wasn't a very good salesman. Trying to sell life skills as a 23-year-old to somebody who's been running a business for longer than you've been alive is not always the easiest task. So I stressed myself out because I wanted to be better. And when I asked that question to my medical doctor, he looked at me and said, nope, stress would not do this to your body. This is probably some bad virus, and we need to get this sorted out. And that's when I started questioning if this was really the best route to start with. Now, I'm not saying medicine is not ever needed, but is it really the go-to when it is underlying factors like stress or diet that are really causing this pain, causing these problems, causing this dis-ease, not disease, dis-ease. It was making me uncomfortable. I wasn't living a very functional lifestyle. I wasn't living a very healthy lifestyle. And that's when I needed to change. And so when I heard that, it kind of shattered my belief that this was the only option. And so I started pursuing other routes. And I heard about gluten-free diets. Eventually my medical doctor did tell me about that. And I was talking to my sister who was working for a chiropractor, and it really changed my mindset from reactionary to being proactive. And I had this epiphany that we actually have control over our health. Maybe not 100%, there are still things that happen, but ultimately every single day we're making decisions that are either going to make us healthier or make us sicker. One of my favorite quotes is, medicine can either be the slowest form of poison or the best form of medicine. And if we eat junk, it's probably going to cause more problems. If we eat really good foods for you, then you're probably going to heal really well. And so I started adopting this lifestyle philosophy of eat right, think right, move right. So you exercise, you eat the right foods, but your mindset has to be in the right place as well. And it sounds so simple, but it's not easy to do. You have to put in that work, and you have to be really moving forward every day. And we're constantly learning new things about diet. We're constantly learning new things about the right movements, right? We're constantly learning more about how our brain and our mindset plays a role on pain, how it plays a role in our daily lifestyles. And doing something as simple as meditation every day can make a huge difference to how you are healing and how you see pain. So that kind of led me down this path of finding something different. And so I decided I wanted to go back to school. I decided that I needed to find the right fit for me. And I didn't know it was chiropractic right away. I just knew that my lifestyle had to change, and I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know why. I knew why. I didn't know how to do it. So when I was introduced to a chiropractor pretty soon after, it was because I had a rib issue. Like right up in here, I had some really bad back problems, about 23, 24 years old. And I'll never forget, I was at a Brewers game, and it was about 50 degrees out, and I was shivering almost the whole time, just shaking, because I was cold, but it hurt. I could feel a pinpoint area that felt like a knife that was stabbed in and twisted, and I couldn't get rid of it, and it was miserable for days. And I finally went to the chiropractor, and I got it adjusted, and I felt immediate relief. Now, it didn't last forever. I had to go back a few times, but I felt immediately better, and I started having conversations with that chiropractor, the guy that my sister worked for, and I still actually did my residency internship with him. And we started having these conversations, and the philosophy fit. And so he said, just go check out a school. You want to go back, go take a look. And that was the first time I ever gave any credence to the thought that maybe I should go to a chiropractor school. Maybe I should learn what this is all about. And so I went to the school, and it felt like home, because they were talking about how we have control over our health, how we can get the body moving and functioning normally, so that we heal, so that we feel good. And it was that change in philosophy that just felt so right, because I was going through that. And I tell you what, if I would have gone to chiropractic school first without experiencing that change in my philosophy, I never would have gone to school there, because I never would have understood what it is that chiropractors really do, and the necessity of really allowing the body to do the work, because our body does heal from inside out. So if we let the internal environment work properly, then the rest of the body is going to do what it needs to do. If we have that connection from our brain to the body, we're going to be seeing great results. So that whole eat right, think right, move right philosophy was just perfect for what I wanted to do with my life. So when I got to school there, it just felt like a whole new world. I started taking classes, and I was motivated. I was serving on the student senate. I was the student senate vice president. I started clubs. I was getting a 4.0 GPA. I know that doesn't matter now, but it was showing you how motivated and dedicated I was to doing this right, because I finally found my calling. I found my place. And I know that if I can reach people and we can talk about the different things that are affecting you, then we can come up with a solution to the problem. And it could be diet, it could be movement, it could be the adjustments, it could be all of the above. But I just know that we have more power over day-to-day lives and our day-to-day health if we start in the right place, and we go more for a proactive approach rather than a reactive approach. And so if we're instead of taking a painkiller that's just going to mask symptoms, adjustments are going to go so much farther, right? So we can do this natural healing and really make a big difference in people's lives. And that's what motivates me, is because I've been through it. I was 50 pounds heavier than I am now, and it was not the good kind. I wasn't like 50 pounds of pure muscles bigger. I was in bad shape because I wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't taking care of myself. And having lived through that, I've failed. I've failed in my body, I failed in my health, and I had to go through this long road of recovery, and it's made a big difference. And that's why I understand where people are coming from, and I want to make sure that they have the right answers to pull them out, just like I did. It took me a while to figure it out, and I'm still learning, but I know where to get started and how to help people go from there. So I want to keep doing these video series, and if you comment below on some things that you want to hear, I'm more than happy to do a video on important topics. So people wanted to hear about heat versus ice, when to do which, and we put a video up about that. And I know one topic that people really want to know about is sleeping positions. So we're going to talk about that. But keep coming to me with questions. So in fact, is there any questions that anybody has right now? You can just comment below. I should be able to see that pop up, and I'll try to answer them. Appreciate you guys all for coming in and joining me today. Okay, so if you have other thoughts or times that you'd like me to do these videos, you can of course watch them recorded later on, but let's try to do this on a regular basis, and I'll come up with a couple more questions and see if I can provide some answers for you guys. All right? It doesn't look like there's any questions right now, so come back with us next time and we'll try to answer some more questions. I hope you enjoyed this and got a little insight into what got me started, got me motivated. I don't like to talk about myself too much, but I think this was kind of fun, and I want to do this with you guys another time. All right, well, I'm going to sign off then. Thanks again for joining me, Dr. Steve, Back to Action Chiropractic. And if you've ever been in, you can probably notice where I am. You can see the nervous system holds the key to the body's incredible potential to healing. And I believe that. It does. The nervous system is key, and if we just let it do what it does best without interference, we don't need any outside help. It all comes from within. All right, well, I'm going to leave you with that thought. Thanks again for watching.